second call away because it is in the exact same process. In that paradigm world, you can imagine a top level component that is the one that says I'm this identity and I can fetch all these services. Oh, I guess YouTube's working out because I hear myself now and I don't know where it is. It's terrible. Sorry.
That's the worst.
Okay, I found it. Um, all I was going to try to say there is, yes, it's been thought about. It's not really been well written down or captured, but that was the primary use case that I discussed around with folks like Luke Wagner as one of the ones where we thought that that was going to be really popular. And it is one of the original philosophies about capability-driven security that we wanted to capture within WASI itself, not just specific to secrets, but any kind of capability that we're going to delegate. And all of this is with the idea of like a micro monolith is Luke's term for a large composed application using components. And so I linked the diagram for that in the chat here, which I think is pretty cool. Um, so yeah, I hope that helps answer. I'm planning to champion WASI secrets through based on our implementation, our experiences here. I would love to capture concrete use cases. Any kind of industry case is so important for moving the WASI standards forward. And we would capture that as part of the standards proposal. So if you're game to help me write that, I will take all the help I can get.
Sorry, thank you, Benny. I was on mute. Thank you.
I've got a new want. I think it'd be great to have an example of this, maybe of composing two components together where one component is doing like a transform or something on data that includes, we can make up some, sensitive information that you wouldn't want revealed. And then we use the secrets interface in order to have, one component actually do the business logic, and then the other component maybe translating that and revealing it to give to store in the database, something like that. I think that'd be a really cool example to show this off.
Yeah, yeah, because what Bailey mentioned is really interesting, right? Because the effort is in minimizing the amount of time that the secret needs to reside in memory, right? Um, so maybe I'll spend a little more time in understanding it better because it yeah, in a decrypted form, that secret uh, in when it is stored at the host, is it decrypted or is it still encrypted? Because,
It is decrypted when it's stored on the host.
oh, okay, okay, okay. Yeah.
But it is worth noting that when that component stops or when the secret, goes out of use, that's zeroed out from memory. So it's not, um,
Okay,
it doesn't stick around in memory for longer than it needs to.
okay, okay. Then it probably comes down to how much of a guarantee we have that the host itself doesn't have any potential of exposing that secret outside, and also the prob- probability of any other component somehow extracting that secret from the host. Right?
Right, right. Um, yeah, just a note for what it's worth, if folks didn't see the implementation of secrets on the host side, we're actually using a really cool crate called Secrecy on the Rust side. And that is what ensures that it's zeroed out of memory when you drop it. But what it also does is it wraps the secret type so that if you're ever passing it around, in the process of fetching the secret, or you may do some logging to say, hey, we're going to get this secret. It actually wraps and redacts the secret value from being logged or serialized or sent over a message bus or exposed during tracing. So it was a huge help in implementing this and knowing that we kind of have this safety net against the secret actually being logged, in addition to it being encrypted, in transit, in storage, all that fun stuff. So this was a really fun feature to work on. Mm. Well, cool. All kinds of fun new ideas. All right, folks. Well, I think that puts us kind of at the end of our community meeting, or community update section. We're not heading out yet. First, a quick apologies to the folks who normally tune in on YouTube. If you're here, I think we unfortunately didn't get the stream key right for today, but we are, streaming it and recording it in general. So I'll make sure after this call to track down that video and get it uploaded to YouTube so that folks can see it there. Maybe we'll just stream it again and pretend that it's live, and that would be fun. But something like that, we'll get the stream up. And then yeah, I just wanted to make sure not to forget that. So I think now is the section of the call where we can just get into general wasmCloud organization updates, general community updates. Do folks have anything that they wanted to talk about today?
I do. I just want to make a quick note. This really shouldn't affect anything like day to day for most people, but the org maintainers voted as part of our incubating process to adopt the CNCF code of conduct. The thing is that our current code of conduct was based off of the same contributor code of conduct that the CNCF code of conduct is based off of. So essentially, there's not really a functional change except for the fact that some reporting can go up. But we already had it noted in our governance documentation that some things went up to the CNCF anyway. So we've just made that change just so people know. So the code of conduct that we had in there is removed from the repo, and we currently link out to the CNCF code of conduct. So just wanted to make that out there, make that a public announcement so people knew that happened. Like I said, that really doesn't affect anything because it's essentially the same set of governing principles we've been using the whole time. So that was just part of our moving towards incubation, and we're continuing the efforts there to do that. So that was it for me. I think Bailey has something to say.
We released WASI 021 as planned last Thursday. It came out. We have OCI artifacts that include just the WIT definitions. Can you use those right now? I would say just wait a little bit. We're working on the tooling to make it very ergonomic to be able to use Bytecode Alliance tools for Whackage, which is our WASM package tool, and integrating that into some of our more like language-specific SDKs like cargo components. So that's still in the oven, but while that's baking, you can pull it down and extract it. And I have a GitHub issue in WASI if you want to follow that workflow and see what it looks like.
Yay, WASI 021.
On to the next one, WASI 022. So we're going to release WASI now on a regular cadence every other month. So the next one's going to be in the beginning of October on the first Thursday. And we're totally going to include Colin's stuff this time.
I don't know, ECMA guys. That ECMA PR is there. We have to need the deprecation stuff from.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So probably
so
023 for that.
Yeah.
So we got background. Brooks walked through the feature gates for why and what you get out of WASI 021, which is a new WIT feature for being able to set @sense and @unstable inside your WIT definition. We did that so that we can have a single WIT document that evolves over time that allows us to stabilize features within WASI, but also as something that I think anybody writing their own interfaces will want to do. The ultimate goal of WASI is to be a foundational piece that are standardized types that most people can rely on. But we really want entire ecosystems to evolve where, let's say, the CNCF side has their own namespace with some common things that they use in their ecosystem, and wasmCloud does, and your company does, right? So all of these different features are intended to be used by everybody, although WASI is definitely the driving force on some of the first implementations for them. Once we got the feature gates in for @sense and @unstable, we want the ability to deprecate. So @deprecated for APIs that we didn't really get right first try, that we learned from experts that work in the ECMAScript space. So really appreciate them coming in and giving us feedback. That's what we aim to do with every WASI proposal, is to get experts in the field of any given space. We do try to align those standard proposals with existing standards if there are some. Times are notoriously real hard and continue to be. But I think that the information that they've given us, we've got a path. And so WASI HTTP, there's one fix that I know of that we're also aiming to get in for WASI 022. But it's a release train. It's happening no matter what, whether or not we get it done. There's already been some doc updates again. So at the minimum, we're releasing more WIT documentation in 022.
Hey Bailey, what does wasmCloud need to actually bring in support for WASI 021?
Great call, Brooks. So Alex has already updated WASM time to pull in WASI 021. So the next release of WASM time will be a great place for us to pull that release in, plop it inside wasmCloud, and all of a sudden wasmCloud understands those new WIT definitions at WASI 021, and you can start writing it too. So you also need to make sure that you have the latest WASM tools. And latest being actually not latest at all. We've had this feature landed in WASM tools for a couple months now. So recent-ish, and you'll be fine on being able to parse that new WIT feature.
And so just a quick follow-up, sorry, Masood, to jump your thing. So we should be able to pull in WASM tools as a part of the latest like wash release. And then so we can like kind of do some of the WIT parsing and stuff there. Cool.
Exactly. Yeah. So for us in the wasmCloud ecosystem, it means updating our WebAssembly runtime and updating our producer toolchain, which is wash.
Okay. All right. We'll do some updates then. Cool. Yeah, Masood, go ahead.
So, along the second question that you asked, my question is that how closely time-wise the implementation will track the standard version?
So specifically for how WASI flows, we had branches within both JCO, contributed by Victor from another wasmCloud maintainer, which is the SDK and toolchain for being able to run with JavaScript and TypeScript, so a producer-style toolchain that also is considered our second reference implementation for our runtime, because it takes the WIT definitions and then shims those to be able to run well on Node.js. And so it's effectively taking those standard specifications and then making them work on a totally different environment from WASM time. And then Alex also was part of the implementation for WASM tools, and we had landed it, consumed it, wrote a lot of test suites, and then also had proved to ourselves that it would work great for WASM time. And once we had that, that's when we considered the feature stable and now as the next part of WASI. And so effectively every type of feature that comes through on the WASI side is that it's reached phase 3 criteria. Right now on WASI, that's the max that you can hit right now. And what it basically means is that there's 2 reference implementations, there's test suites, and it meets portability criteria, which means it can run on different operating systems that the proposal originally set out to hit, and architectures. So that's from the WASI side. For the long tail on how does wasmCloud consume a lot of this stuff, since a lot of the same faces obviously are participating in the upstream side. We could pull in off of like a dev branch or off of main, but what we aim to release within wasmCloud is stable feature sets. So we aim to pull them in once they've been released from our upstream tools. And WASM time release is monthly. WASM tools can be way faster than that or monthly. Somewhere in between sometimes.
I think this will be really good as we, essentially are trying to push out updates to wasmCloud and wash a little bit more frequently, as they land. This would be a really good thing to keep in mind when it comes to releasing our stuff. Like we wouldn't, it feels like it would be a not waste or whatever, not a wasted effort, just like a little unfortunate if we were to drop like wasmCloud 1.2 and then immediately there's like a minor, backwards compatible breaking change, awesome thing that now we either turn around right away and do 1.3, which is fine. We have numbers, or, we could have just waited a day or so to bring it in. So, um, maybe we could put that on the community calendar. I don't know.
That sounds fun. I actually love that idea. I'm a huge fan of regular time-based releases, so that people have an expectation of what it's going to come out. And I wanted to have a level of frequency that kind of forces you, or at least acts as a forcing function to have really great test automation, have robots create releases, not humans, although humans trigger it, obviously. But to give you a little bit of perspective on the how much we love numbers in the Bytecode Alliance space, wasmTools is on version 1.215.0. So there's been 215 minor releases of wasmTools.
Yeah, you either die or live long enough to see yourself publish hundreds of minor versions. Gonna use Serday, you awesome project.
Die hero. Die hero.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. All right, folks. Well, that runs us right up to 2 o'clock. I think we'll go ahead and call it here. Just a note, I think what we will do is, we can keep the last little bit of this community call on the live stream bit, but I'll go ahead and see if I can grab the recording and upload that to the YouTube channel. I can put that, we'll link to that on the community stream page and all that to make sure that we are up to date. But otherwise, thank you all so much for taking some time to come to the community meeting. This was really, this was a great community meeting. If I would say so myself, the best community meeting of August so far, for sure. So, all right. Thanks everybody. We'll see you next week for the next wasmCloud community meeting.